guys. As I was laying in my bed trying to go off to sleep and rag my brain about what I wanted to record and some content ideas, I decided to do another train with me, but I decided to talk about some of my icks in real life and in SSO. Now, I'm just gonna let you know these are all my opinions as always, and if you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments below. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I want to start off strong by saying that one of my main icks is like saggy pants. I remember specifically when I would be in school and I'd be walking like behind a group of boys who sit up here and sag their pants. I will never understand what the idea is with sagging pants. I don't know if it's like, I'm guessing it's some sort of like trend or a style, but it's not giving, and it makes you look unwell or like unkept, like you have no home training. I don't understand why people sag in the first place. And then what irritates me the most is that they'd be wearing a belt and they're still sagged. So I'm assuming the belt is just there for decoration. It's not there actually to hold up your pants. But again, I'm assuming it's just supposed to be some sort of fashion choice, sense or whatever, but I don't like it. Another thing that gives me an ick is thirst traps. Honestly, every time I see a thirst trap video, and I'm talking about like the cringy ones that do a little bit too much, I'm thinking to myself, like, how could they sit there, record it, look back on it to edit it and post it? It's just, I think like, I'm thinking to myself, this person, it can be a girl or a boy, but it's mostly the boys I'm talking about that do like weird thirst traps, and I'm not exactly sure who told you to do that. I don't know what it's giving, but whatever you thought it was giving, it wasn't giving that. Also, quick side note, I'll make sure to put it down in the description box below, like what kind of Reshade I'm using, because I know some people ask about that, and I just want to make sure that I put it down in there. But if I don't, it's in the video, so you guys can go ahead and find it if you guys want. Another thing that gives me the major ick is when people walk slow. It can be like in school, it can be in like on the sidewalk. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, people walking extremely slow when you have to go somewhere is so irritating, because I will never understand. Like, look, me personally, I'm not gonna speed walk across, you know, the entire wherever I'm going. I'm not gonna speed walk across all of that, but I'm not a slow walker. I keep up with like the pace. It's like when you're on the expressway, you want to match the speed of the common speed of the road. You don't want to drive too slow, and you don't want to drive too fast. So that's kind of how I think walking is when it comes to whether it can be school life, real life. Why are you walking so slow for? It never made sense to me. I'm not expecting you to run across to wherever you're going to, but I'm gonna need you to match the common speed of where everybody else is walking, because it literally drives me nuts. Because if I have to get to class, for example, I usually hate this when I'm in school, is when people would walk excruciatingly slow as if I don't have any other place to be. That really makes me mad. Like, I know a lot of people can agree with people who walk too slow, but look, I'm trying to get to my class and you're in the way. Another one would be where you'll have a couple who, okay, being a couple is one thing and you want to show your love and whatever, that's great. But at the same time, if you're in the middle of the hallway and you're hugging and it's just like you're blocking traffic, you are literally blocking people to getting where they need to get to because you want to hug your boyfriend or you want to kiss your girlfriend goodbye. It's kind of one of those things that, okay, cute, but you kind of want to do it on your own time, meaning like do it to the side or do it after school. You're telling me you can't wait until after school to give your boyfriend a kiss or give your girlfriend a hug, because it never made sense to me why you have to be smack dab in the middle of the hallway. People got things to do, people got places to be.
I'm gonna need you to get with the program.
This one may ruffle a few people's feathers, but I feel like majority of people can agree with me when I say that people cannot seem to give you personal space. I don't know what it is. It doesn't even need to be, it can be your family, it can be your friends, but for some reason, people don't know when to give another person space. Like, I could have friends who, you know, always want to be touchy-feely, and it's like, it's cute for a little bit. I don't mind giving them a high five or a hug once in a while because, you know, who doesn't want to do that? But it gets to a point where I just need my own space. Like, I don't need you to be attached with me at the hip. I need to breathe, especially in a school setting. I know specifically if we're standing in a line, people like, and I'm speaking from experience, so I feel like I'm more qualified to talk about this. But when I would stand in the lunchroom, in the line for the lunchroom, and like I'd have my backpack on, and the fact that I can feel you pressing up against my backpack is a problem, because why are you so close? Having a backpack is just a way for you to give, like, you know, your own space. You know, I know it can be a little bit messy, and I know in some schools they may not allow having book bags in the hallways, but I feel like having, you know, book bags and stuff like that like separates you from the other person who may be behind you or maybe in front of you, where it's just kind of like, give me my personal space, like give me my personal bubble. You're invading my personal bubble, and people don't seem to understand that until I snap back or get upset. Okay, going back to the topic about walking slow, just a little tangent. I hate when the person walks slow. They know that they're walking slow, right? And they got like a big gap in front of them. So you have people walking at the same speed, and then there's them who's walking in front of you. They got a big space in front of them, so like there's no reason for them to be walking slow. And then when I step on the back of their heel or step on the back of their shoe, they want to get upset, and it's kind of just like, girl,
you're lucky that's all I did, because I could have just pushed if I really wanted to.
But I'm a nice, kind, and understanding individual, because, you know, some people genuinely just walk slow. Okay, I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So I try to be understanding and be like, hey, you know, could you walk up, you know, or could you move to the side so I can get in front? But then they get upset when I step on their shoe, the back of their shoes, and it's just kind of like, well, I gave you several hints, now you're just out of luck. When guys specifically cannot take no for an answer, I don't know what it is. For some reason, when you talk to a guy, and it's usually a guy, it's never usually a girl, but it can be a girl, but I'm just saying, for the most part, it's usually guys who literally can't take the hint, who can't take no for an answer, because I think for guys, no means maybe or yes, but not right now. If that's what I meant, that's what I would have said. Like, I never found it attractive or cute when a guy consistently is like trying to hit on the same girl that obviously is just not into him, or just says no, and it's kind of just like, dude, I don't know if you get the memo or if you understand, but this girl is just not into you that way, and you need to understand to take the no as an answer. Me personally, if someone tells me no, that doesn't mean maybe later or maybe or yes, but not right now. It literally means what it stands for, and it's so irritating because I've seen a lot of TikToks where guys will be hitting on girls and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, bro, it shouldn't get to the point where she has to lie, because I know some girls do this where they have to literally lie that they have a boyfriend or like they're in a relationship when they really aren't, because you literally won't take no for an answer. Like, it's just so annoying, and like guys really do just irritate me when it comes to that, because why is it that I have to fight with you to get you to understand that I'm just not interested? Why is it that the reins glitch with the horse's neck? I know on some horses, like even right now, look at that. Look at that. Especially if you're trying to take like photos of you and your horse with the reins and stuff like that, and then you have it where your reins glitch in with your horse. I mean, me personally, I don't take photos in game anyway to really care if there's an issue with my reins or not. But I know people who roleplay, who take photos of their horse on the daily, do have that issue, and it's so annoying because it doesn't make sense. The loud tractor sound when you travel to different places. I know I can just turn the volume down or turn the in-game sounds off, but sometimes you just want to hear that ambiance, and then you travel and then you hear that loud sound of the tractor. And sometimes I'm recording, so I don't know that that's happening until after the fact, which is even worse. When people say I'm bitter when I see couples in public doing PDA, look, I have nothing against couples doing any sort of romantic romantic interactions in public. That's not really the problem. It's when the couples in question are doing a little bit too much. And I'm sure most of you guys know who I'm talking about. Sometimes it just gets to a point where you're doing a little too much and you need to cool it down. Like, that's the type of stuff you do behind closed doors or in the bedroom, you know, like you don't really need to do all of that to express your love to that person. Now, I understand if you're holding your significant other's hand or if you're giving them a kiss on the cheek.
I totally missed that.
But when you're full out making out with that person in public, especially like in areas like park, for example, it's mostly common in the park where everybody, like children, toddlers and stuff are playing. Like, that's not really the place to be doing all of that. That's stuff that can wait at home.
Behind closed doors where everybody doesn't have to see it.
Now, this one irritates me solely because I don't think this is like a glitch within the game, and I don't know if it's ever been patched or not, but it needs to be fixed ASAP. And it's constantly running into like invisible things in the game. Sometimes I'm running a race and I run into something that isn't even there to begin with, and it makes me mad because I know it's not a me problem. And there's a specific place. I can't speak for everybody, but there's a specific place in Valdale in the woods where past like the waterfall or something, not like almost past the waterfall, there's a certain spot where if you run towards it, there's like an invisible something there and it stops you. And I'm just like, there's nothing there, obviously, but that's so irritating. But it only irritates me more when I'm in the middle of a race or I'm in a championship and I just randomly hit it. And I'm just like, out of all times to hit that imaginary speed bump or whatever, you know, when someone baby talks to you all the time, it doesn't even need to necessarily be your significant other, but when somebody always talks to you in a baby way or a babyish way, you know what I'm talking about, like the constant like, how are you, and all this extra stuff. And it's just like, especially if it is your partner, that's kind of questionable. It's kind of weird. Like, I can understand in certain occasions it may be used to like use it as their leverage, but always talking to you in that way is kind of a major turnoff for most people. I don't know what it is with people and saying that they're ugly when they really aren't. Like, it's such a weird fetish. But when they keep saying it, like they keep saying that, oh, I'm ugly, or I feel ugly, or I think I'm ugly all the time, and you keep reassuring them saying like, no, you're not ugly, you're not ugly, it gets to a point where I'm just gonna agree with you. Like, I know we've all done that to one of our friends. It's usually a friend of ours that constantly feels like the need of reassurance, you know, constantly saying, oh, I'm ugly, or I feel ugly, all the time, every chance that they get, and you reassuring them saying like, if you're ugly, then what am I? You know, like that's an insult to me too, you know, or you're not ugly, you're really beautiful, look in the mirror, you know, like you're constantly trying to boost up their confidence, and they always find some sort of reason or something to be upset about. And I'm just like, at this point, maybe you're right. Maybe you are ugly. Maybe you're ugly on the inside and not the outside, because why do you keep saying that about yourself? Especially if people have told you multiple times, not even just me, multiple different people have told you like, hey girl, you're not ugly, you know, like you're pretty just the way you are. You don't have to be impressive to anybody. And it gets to a point. And when I say that I'm just going to agree with you, I don't want to mean it like in a mean way, because I'll say it in a jokingly way where I'm just like, yeah, you probably are ugly, you know, like I wouldn't actually mean it, but you know, they need to chill out with that, because now you're making me mad. When people are so clingy, I always say this, I need my space. I need it. It's not even a want at this point. It's a need. It is a must. I need my space, whether I have a partner, whether it's my friends, whether it's my family. I need personal space. And people don't know how to give that to you until I call you out on it. And then when I call you out on it, you get upset because I say, hey, I need space. Like, I need you to back away from me. Like, you know, I need to breathe. I'm not trying to be mean. I just need you to respect my space. Respect my personal bubble, because you don't like it when other people that you're not comfortable with invade your personal space or your personal bubble. And even though we've been friends for years or we've been together for years, doesn't mean I want you to invade my personal area, because that's my space. It makes sense, right? When someone talks about themselves in third person, like Elmo style, I just can't. I know there's some people who do this. I've never personally encountered a person who talks about themselves in third person, like Elmo likes this, or Elmo wants to do that, or you know what I'm talking about. I don't really need to give an example, because if you watched Elmo, you know that dude is always talking about himself in third person. And I know that's not a good example because that's a kid's show. That's literally for children under the age of 10 or 9 maybe. Like, that's not really meant for teenagers or adults. But if I've ever met a person who talks about themselves in third person, that would be a major ick for me. I don't know what it is about people talking about themselves in third person, because why? That's not how people talk. That's not how you engage with another person. If I'm talking to you about myself, saying like, oh, I like to do this, why not use first person? Because that's talking about you. Why are you talking about yourself in third person? That doesn't make sense. And this is probably a very personal ick to me, because there's probably people who can't help doing that. Like, they're actually, you know, I don't want to say sick, but they're kind of mentally unwell in a way where they can't help but doing that. And so I understand, but then there's people who just do it on purpose, you know, who just do it because they can do it. And I guess free will is enacted here, but that's so annoying. Completely major side note, if you hear a lot of barking in the background, don't mind that.
My family likes to act like a pack of wolves.
People who hit you too hard when they laugh or find something really funny. I'm pretty sure we've all had friends who have found something excruciatingly hilarious that they felt the need to literally hit you every single time they have a spike moment, meaning every moment where they literally can't breathe or they can't get any other words out, they feel the need to hit you. And I'm like, why are you hitting me? Especially if I'm not even the one who made the joke to begin with and you're inflicting pain on me. It doesn't make sense to do that. Please stop. It gets annoying. Like, I understand some things are funny, some things you can't help but laugh your head off, but I don't need you to hit me to express how funny it is. People who can't eat with their mouth closed, why? Just why? Why can't you close your mouth? Why are you talking to me with your mouth full? Why do I have to see you consuming your food as you look at me? I don't understand. It doesn't take long to close your mouth and eat it. Like gum specifically. It's always those people who want to be extra special and obnoxious that take it to a whole nother level. And it gets very, very irritating, because why can't you close your mouth? Is there a problem here? Like, is your mouth unable to close because of reasons? Like, when people stink or have bad hygiene in general. I'm not specifically talking about the people who can't control it, because there's people out there who can't help but be sweaty, who can't help but be stinky a little bit. It happens, okay? I can excuse that. But for the people who actively choose to stink, for people who actively choose to walk around smelly, especially in the wintertime, why is it we're smelling musty and funky in the winter? That does not make sense to me. Why is it that we can't? Because there's products out there, okay? Deodorant is not that expensive, okay? The cheapest deodorant I can think of is like 25 cents maybe, or 50 cents, or maybe close to $1. That's not expensive. Some soap and water. You can't just put perfume or cologne on and expect to magically smell good. No, you need to hop in the shower and clean yourself properly before you decide, because like that just adds on to the musky, ugly smell that you already smell like. And trust me, this has happened so many times, especially when it's after like a very sweaty moment like gym during the school day, because I had gym first period, so people were already walking in smelling funky, smelling any old kind of way just because they can. And I know it's free will, but it gets to a point where now you're affecting me. Okay, your smell is affecting my nostrils, and it's very disrespectful how you can walk around smelling like that. Like, do you not smell yourself? Do people have to sit there and call you out that you smell bad for you to go take care of that? Because again, there's products. Okay, there is products out there that can help with the smell, can alleviate something. But people, and I'm not saying any names, but people in general just choose to be extra lazy, extra stinky for no reason. Like I said, there's people who actually they can't help but sweat a lot. They can't help but, Sometimes they, you know, stink more than usual, but there's also but there's also ways to alleviate that as well. Like me personally, I have very sweaty palms. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, doesn't matter. My palms will continuously be sweaty. Like my palms are sweaty now. And that's probably TMI to most, but that's just life, you know? But I take measures to alleviate that for me because it's not a very good feeling to constantly feel like very sticky, very wet in the hands. And I'm getting off topic, but you know, okay, that's not cute. That's not even an ick. That's really just disgusting.
Because now that's causing a biohazard in a whole moment, and I just don't understand why that's even...
Talking too loud, obviously, for reasons that doesn't need to be addressed or explained. Why are you talking too loud? I'm right next to you. You don't need to yell at me. We're in the same proximity. Why are you screaming in my face? What is going on? Can you not hear yourself talk, or what's going on? Because at some point I'm starting to wonder, is it me or is it you? Because I'm right in front of you. You don't need to talk so loud. Use your indoor voices because you're blowing out my ears, honey. Living a mess. Why is the place of where you live a hot mess? Now, I'm not talking about a good mess because there's times where, especially if you live in a small house or apartment, you only have a very small living accommodation. And obviously a house isn't going to be perfect. But when there's constantly garbage and stuff everywhere and you can't even get through the front door, that's a problem for me. I could never go over a person's house when their house is looking all funky and messy and unpresentable for the outside world to see. But I can't speak for everyone because some people might like that. Bragging or talking about themselves too much, that's a very unattractive thing in a person. Male, female, doesn't matter. When you brag about yourself too much, saying, oh, I'm so smart, I achieved X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, if that's actually what you did, and I'm not saying that you did, but if that's actually something that you actually completed and did, you wouldn't need to brag about it to the whole entire world. You know, being humble speaks a lot about your character. You don't need to prove you're the best. Even if you are the best, right? You shouldn't need to be proving it to anybody. Actions are louder than words, in my opinion. I'd rather you show me that you're smart rather than actually saying it. Because a lot of people say that they're smart and that they're this, that, and third, but they make stupid decisions every chance they get. Being obsessed with astrology, there's nothing wrong with trying to find your perfect match through astrology. I know there's some people who are like that. Me personally, I don't care. If I like someone or find someone attractive, then that's the end of it. I'm not finna go into the books of astrology to try and figure out who I want to be with, X, Y, and Z. I mean, everybody knows that you're a Cancer. At least everybody knows that I'm a Cancer. Why do I need to try to find someone to match up with my, like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't, no. I personally like astrology because it's nice to read up on other things, if you will. It's nice to see like who you're compatible with, who is more likely to do what. But I don't like to really base that off of if I like a person or if I should get with them or not, because 9 times out of 10, we might actually click really well, even if we are on opposite sides of the spectrum. Someone who's always being negative, need I say more? Someone who has bad manners. If that person can't respect you in private, what makes you think they'll respect you in public? And vice versa. If you can't be respectful to me in public, what makes you think you'll be respectful to me in private and around my family? That would not only be embarrassing to me, but embarrassing to my family, because I'm trying to introduce you to my friends and family and you're acting a mess. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me. On a completely, utterly side note, why is this the only race in the game, proper race in the game, that has like rain? Like, I don't know how they would implement weather in the game. I'm sure it's a possibility because a lot of people have been talking about, hey, we can now change the time of day, but why is it that we can't have weather whenever we like, especially if it correlates with the current time of day that we're in or the current time of season we're in. Where am I going? Oh, this is not the right thing. I just don't understand. Like, they can add some rain in certain races and they add the snow in the winter time. Why not in the spring and probably potential summer? They can add little rain here and there. is that too hard to ask for? Okay, I'm getting off topic. Always late, especially if you're the host of whatever it is that you're planning and you're the main person everybody's waiting for or waiting to see, and the main star of the show is late. I know people like to do the fashionably late, and that's one thing, but to be straight up late, I'm talking about like hour late, 30 minutes late. Why? It doesn't make sense. Okay, if you knew that you were gonna need more time for whatever it is that you needed time for, you should have rescheduled for that. You should have taking the time for that, because that's wasting my time, you know? That really is wasting my time, especially if I have other stuff to do today and you're running late to your own event. Makes me mad. Okay, 10 minutes is one thing, 10-minute late is one thing, but to be 20, 30, 40 minutes late, close to an hour, that's another issue. I can't stand it. Okay, you need to be on time, or get up early so you can get on time. I don't know what it is, but you need to be on time, especially if that person is always late. They're never on time for anything, whether it be their event or not. They're always late. It makes me mad. I was able to get almost all of the Jorvik Warmbloods. Well, yeah, the Jorvik Wild Horse. I don't know why I said the Jorvik Warmbloods, because honestly, the reason why I didn't record this week's Wednesday update, even though I knew there was a bazaar going on, was literally because I wasn't sure if I was going to buy the Jorvik Wild Horses, but I finally have pretty much all the ones that I wanted, and I wasn't paying full price for them. Please, I was not paying 975 star coins for one of these horses. These are the most unique horses, but the most expensive horses in the game, and I just can't get down with that. But I got this one, and this one, and I've been had this one, but you guys already knew that. But I've gotten pretty much all the ones that I have been wanting. I might actually get this one as well, but I might have to let that simmer. I actually like the way that the Jorvik wild horses are built, but I just don't. Some of their hairstyles are a little questionable. And the last one, guys, to wrap it up strong, is someone who acts slow, not walks slow, distinctively acts slow. I don't know what it is with being slow. I don't know if it's like a contagious disease or what it is, but when people purposefully act slow, because I know you have more common sense than that, but you choose to act below yourself. Is critical thinking not an option? I'm confused. Why is it that you can't understand basic math? What's 4 + 4? Am I missing something? Like, how did you graduate high school if you don't even know the basics of math? I'm not understanding. Why is it that when I'm explaining something to you in full detail, you ask me,
what did you just say again?
Like, I literally taken the time to explain it to you and broke it down into baby words so that way you can understand, and you still don't get it.
Please do not irritate me on this Thursday afternoon.
This is not the time or place to irritate me. I promise you that. Alrighty, guys, there goes all of my icks for one video. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, everyone.